Coming to you from the all-new Live House in Hollywood, California.
Hey guys, welcome to this week's episode of Pensado's Place. Our guest goes from Wu Tang Clan to Zac Brown Band, all the way from Amsterdam. You'll meet him in just a second. But first, we got a couple winners for you from the Pensado Auto-Tune giveaway. They are Desmond Lang and Sam Bates. Congratulations to them. As we've been telling you for the last couple of weeks, Auto-Tune, and you probably already know it, that's a must-have essential tool for vocals and all kinds of other things it will do. You can enter very easily. Visit antaristech.com/Pensado, enter your email, and for the next few weeks, win Auto-Tune EFX, plus be eligible for a great grand prize. That's the Auto-Tune Vocal Studio, and that beast has Auto-Tune Pro, plus the AVOX suite of plugins. Good stuff. Again, sign up right here at this link, antaristech.com/Pensado. Enter your email and you'll be good. We're announcing more winners each week and eventually that grand prize winner, so do not delay. Speaking of winners, we got a few more. Here are the final winners of the iLoud Autumn Sweepstakes. They are, drumroll please, Tykeem Holmes and Tyreek Eason. They'll take home the iLoud MTMs or the iLoud micro monitors. Both sets of speakers serve different purposes. Both incredible. Dave loves those things, and we do too. Want to thank the IK people, the Kersner brothers, Gary and Dave and Peter, and all the folks down there in Florida for supporting our audience. We love you for that. We've got a bunch of stuff coming up in November, and you don't want to miss out. The way you can stay in tune, sign up for our newsletter. All the information will be there. And plus, if you would, like, subscribe, and click notify, and we thank you for that. Our guest, as we said earlier, Wu Tang Clan, Zac Brown Band, add Logic, add Eminem, add J. Cole, and a whole bunch more. Please welcome to the desk, the one, the only, Shroom. Hey, man, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Sure.
What's up, buddy?
Now, the most important question, obviously, between all the things we could ask you is where did the name come from?
Well,
a bad trip.
Nah, I'm from Amsterdam, so kind of made sense to me. I just thought it was a cool name, and I'm from Amsterdam, so I just
it is a cool name.
It made sense.
Yeah, we met over FaceTime. We were in Atlanta, right? And Big Lou, the connector of all, put us together. It's always interesting to us when we have people who work internationally a bunch, or maybe are based internationally. Are there things that you pick up from being in Amsterdam, influences, other kinds of things that help inform what you do?
I'm not sure. Probably the surroundings, like the architecture and everything.
Does that inspire you musically?
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely.
Oh, is that right? In what way? How does that work?
I mean, like if you just walk down the street, like you look at the canals and everything, it's just really cool. So especially in summertime or at nighttime with all the lights, it just looks really cool and you just get inspired.
And that inspires you?
Yeah, same way as you go to like New York or stuff with all the lights, you get inspired too. So I think every place like inspires you differently.
But you've got some like world-class museums there too. That have to be inspiring. The Rijksmuseum.
Oh yeah, I love it.
And you also have an affinity for using live instrumentation, right? So you like to mix live instrumentation with digital sounds and tools and so on and so forth.
Exactly.
Is that because it gives you a better feel, gives the music a better feel, or makes it more interesting texturally?
I just like mixing old stuff with new stuff to try to create something new that's not there yet. But I listen to a lot of old music, so I always try to keep like that, those influences.
Yeah, I noticed you have a respect for the past and you like bring it forward, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's evident not only in your bio, but it's evident in the music that you have. It's even evident in your samples, which we'll get to in a second. But
so I will not jump in the gun, but it feels to me like you somewhat invented a new job description in our world of audio that you're not really producing the song, you're not really giving the artist a track, you're giving the producer part of the track. Yeah. And you're doing really good with that.
I do both. I do full tracks too, but like I do a lot of samples.
You played us some stuff last night. And you allow, so a person can come to your website, grab a piece of music, and then they can get it with or without drums. Yeah. In some cases. And so that's your bread and butter, isn't it, right now?
Yes, it definitely is. But I'm also producing full tracks. So I just did like the Zac Brown Band. I just produced the whole stuff.
I love that song.
Those two songs.
I love that. What's the name of the song?
The one is called Lion's Den, and the other one is This Fart.
So what they were going for in working with you, what do you think that was? Was it because of your
Great
beats
question.
ability? Was it?
Yeah, I think it's the same thing because I like to like, they were like looking for different genres and blending genres together.
Mm-hmm.
And that's basically what I'm doing too, so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we talk a lot to our audience about being a hybrid. You can't be stuck in one box, that you should dig into other boxes and have
Exactly.
Doesn't that help you grow?
Yeah, because I got a hip hop background. I still produce a lot of hip hop.
For sure.
And I think hip hop is like the main genre that like combines like every other genre. Because you can take like a country sample or a soul sample and put some hip hop drums on it and rhyme over it or sing over it, and it's a hip hop track.
Yeah, you see it. You see it everywhere.
So yeah, I used to always sample like different genres, but then I was like, man, I should just try to create like my own samples that sound like something I would sample.
And make it yourself.
Yep, exactly.
A lot of the sample packs are free. You don't have to pay anything for them. But you have a different system. Can you describe your system? I think it's valid going forward in our industry. I like what you're doing.
Yeah,
Can you
there's
describe
like
how the process works when somebody likes one of your.
Yeah, I got like 2 different types of packs. Usually I got like the drum breaks and the compositions, and you can just buy them for like $20-$30 on my website. And if you like use them on a major record or on a big record, you can reach out and then we'll just split the publishing or whatever.
Okay, so you'll take a piece of the publishing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, not everything's free.
Nah.
Right.
But
Put too much work in it.
But you spend money recording orchestras.
Exactly. I've spent money
on great musicianship and great quality sound. Like Herb said,
I rent studios, I hire musicians, so yeah, I write all the music.
That's a great way to get live sounds in your recordings, is to get one of those. Are you calling them loops? Is that what you're calling them?
I call them compositions because I don't think they're like really loops because they got like different. They got all got kind of like a story to them. It's not like just one 4-bar loop. It's just like they change up so you can.
That's an interesting point. I think that it's partially why it's valid to call yourself a sound designer. It's more than just grabbing something, looping it, and then presenting it. You're actually creating landscapes and stuff. You're putting thought into how that should be. And when you listen to your stuff, the range is crazy. Like in terms of, I mean, it goes from way over here to way over there and way up here. And is that just your interest level?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. I like dynamics a lot, so I like it go from small to big and small. Yeah.
Do you play instruments as well?
A little bit. I play guitar a little bit.
Guitar.
Yeah, right. I play a little keys, and I'm pretty good at programming, like all the compositions.
There's a video of a guitar player in the control room with you, absolutely killing it. Who is the guitar player?
Oh, Mike Orlando.
Is that who it is?
Oh yeah. I'm working on a rock project
you work with
him
Mike Orlando?
Yeah.
Damn, that's one of my favorite guitar players.
I'm working on a whole project with him right now. We started a group. It's me, Mike Orlando, Matt Mendango from the Zac Brown Band, the bassist.
Oh, really?
And D'Anthony Parks, drummer from Mars Volta.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Oh, we got to hear that.
Oh, yeah.
So what is that? Going to be a touring something, or?
I don't know. We're just creating music right now. And
will it be for sale?
Yeah, it will. We're going to put it out somehow. I mean, I'm super excited about it.
Yeah, that's very cool.
It's my first rock project.
Very cool. So now, are you mostly working out of Amsterdam these days, or back and forth?
Yeah, I go back and forth. Like, I live in Amsterdam, but this is my 4th time this year that I'm here.
Oh, I got you.
So I'm just trying to be here as much as possible.
In part of your history, Wu Tang Clan and you know Mobb Deep and all that kind of stuff. I've seen this resurgence of visual projects about that. All Eyes on Me, Straight Outta Compton, Wu Tang Clan's got an episodic series out now. There's a couple of others. There's a documentary on Tribe Called Quest, and so there's a resurgence of a reverence for that period and what it created. And you were working with those guys back during that period coming up, right? Did that
not really
or
back
afterwards?
Then, but I've been working with Wu Tang for like 10 years, I would say.
Okay. So it was after the initial wave.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Yeah. But they still are relevant today.
Yeah.
So when you work with them, do you have to maintain some of what made them what they were, but yet keep pushing them forward?
Yeah, that's what I always try to do. I just when I do Wu Tang stuff, I try to make it like the way that I would want to hear a Wu Tang track. So I just try to keep it as Wu Tang as possible.
And what is Wu Tang? What do you keep it
Like,
as?
Big drums, old soulful hard samples, big bass, grimy sound, kung fu samples.
Now, on stuff like with Eminem or J. Cole, whatever, did they use your sample packs? Were you actually producing on the records?
The Eminem track, they used my sample pack. The J. Cole track, I made the music, and then it's not in the sample pack, but I sent it to the other producer that looped my sample, and he added the drums to it.
Got it.
So I played the keys and the guitar on that, and then he added the drums and the 808.
That's a cool place to be. You can put on different hats and do different things on different records, right?
Yeah.
Keeps it fresh.
What do you compose on? Are you still on Pro Tools?
Yeah, Pro Tools.
And so how often do you record the MIDI and then have an actual horn player come in and replay the horn?
Oh, a lot. I do that all the time.
Okay, so you're coming up with...
God, you're using horns. Thank you, Jesus. I appreciate that.
Yeah, one of my favorite instruments.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah, so I just write the parts in Pro Tools and MIDI, and then I have like a full day recording with like a horn section or with strings, or and then I know you don't like it, but I run a lot of stuff through tape, analog tape, and I use some analog stuff.
I like tape. I just don't like it on everything.
Yeah, but if I go for like that old school soul sound, I like it a lot.
There's some things tape does you can't get it any other way.
Yeah, exactly.
And we've got some pretty good emulations.
Yeah.
But real tape. What do you use for real tape? Just go run a studio, or?
I got a Revox, a 2-track Revox.
And 77? Is that the name of the Revox?
Probably, yeah.
About like that.
Yeah.
But the real test is if you will edit on tape. Take your razor blade.
Yeah, I don't do that. I got Pro Tools for that.
That's some old school stuff. Yeah.
We had to do that in school, but
what are your go-to synths?
I use a lot of soft synths, but I like the Mellotron right now. I was working
the new one.
Yeah, I had a small one that I recently worked on, and all the sounds were like really dope. So that's probably my favorite at the moment.
Okay. Yeah, the real ones are hard to keep working.
Yeah, but it's a new one. It's a small one. I think it's.
Do you ever find any virtual synths that you think are equivalent to what you want to feel from an analog synth? Have they quite got to where you like them?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, if I use a virtual synth, I always run them through like something analog, like an SSL channel strip or tape or whatever, to still make it sound more analog.
Do you take your records and do you mix them, or do you have a specific mixer that you send stuff to?
My samples I mix myself.
Okay.
But if I produce on records, they usually have people that mix the records, so I don't really get to choose.
Gotcha.
Yeah, they just
Gotcha. The artist.
Do you do minimal? You do minimal. Like stereo bus stuff and minimal EQing and compression.
Yeah, I don't really do any stereo bus stuff.
Okay.
But I do use compression and EQ and everything.
How often does someone take a piece of music without any drums and then they add their drums? Is that something they do quite a bit with you?
Yep. Yeah, that's what they do a lot. They take a part they like, or they loop it or whatever, chop it up, and they add their drums to it.
So in terms of your business model, is that about half your business? Is that type of thing?
Oh, hell yeah. Maybe, probably more than half.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite?
Favorite what?
A favorite piece of music you came up with?
I don't know, because I make so many different things. So every time I make something new, then that's my favorite at the time. And then after a while, it gets old to me and I don't like it.
Right.
Like last night we were talking, you mentioned some of your inspirations. Can you read?
Curtis Mayfield, Al Green, Funkadelic, all the old soul stuff.
So you like all these falsetto singers. I like that. I like that. Gotcha.
Yeah,
that's right. They were.
Oh,
I like the higher range. Even with rappers like Ghostface, one of my favorites. It's also like a higher pitch.
There's something that happens with the emotion of people who can go into that high place. And it's also not a place a lot of people could go.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's like when you got it.
You got it, yeah.
When I was a little kid, I didn't understand falsetto. And then probably by the time I hit 12, it was like my favorite thing. I loved falsettos, but I didn't understand men singing that high when I was a little kid. It's a lot more emotion.
It's all about the ladies.
Yeah.
The ladies love falsetto singers.
I do too now.
If you look at it, Curtis, Marvin Gaye, Smokey Robinson, those were all lady killers.
Oh, yeah.
I mean that in a positive sense.
Smokey could be the greatest American songwriter ever.
Yeah.
There's so many. I mean, and
I like a lot of different music. So
think about the Motown writers, Norman Whitfield, and you know, what's the trio?
Holland Dozier. Holland.
Yeah, exactly. So that camp
through the grapevine.
But interesting with you, it seems to me in researching you that those kinds of things affected you in terms of the way you produce, the way you make samples. That you find inspiration from going back there and then bringing that forward.
Exactly. Yeah.
No, it's interesting because I hear jazz things that you'll think about and other kinds of stuff. You had a lot of things that were actually slow rhythms, which are rare to hear from people in hip hop. And getting that kind of
People tell me that a lot. Yo, man, you always make the slow stuff. Speed it up.
I noticed.
I like
slow.
I
said that to you last night.
Yeah, but I like slow stuff. Man.
It's soulful.
Yeah.
Like you have a soulful thing about what you do. Yeah.
So when you're working and you want to have that vintage part, but you've got to have it obviously placed in a modern environment, if not just the environment that it lives in, but the listener, like a playlist. So what's your technique for taking something and making it live in two worlds, the 1960s world and the 2019 world? How do you accomplish that? Because it's done beautifully, seamlessly.
Thank you. Yeah, so it's basically just like a hybrid between analog and digital stuff that I used. It's like running it, recording it to tape, but then running it back into Pro Tools and still use all the Pro Tools plugins, all the waves and all the UAD stuff.
And that gives it just enough digital kind of context to make it feel current, but not lose the old thing.
Exactly. And also sound selection, like I would use like some live stuff that I processed on analog tape. And then I would like mix it with some like newer school drums, like newer synths and stuff like that to have like best of both worlds.
What was your way into the American side of the world? Was it just your love of hip hop and then making connections? And how did it happen?
At first, I just started reaching out to people on MySpace. When MySpace just came out, I was just hitting up everybody that I could think of.
You're not old enough to know about MySpace. But it worked.
It worked. So then I started to work with like some of the Wu Tang affiliates through MySpace, and then I started taking trips out here. And I was always networking. And one time, Ghostface had a show in Amsterdam, and I just waited outside. And I just gave him and his people's beat CDs. And then a couple months later, like one of his people hit me back and was like, yo, I want to use this for myself. He was rhyming too. I was like, all right, let's do it. So I did a couple records with him. And then later on, he hit me back. He's like, yo, man, Ghost likes to join and he wants to use it for his album. And then he put Busta Rhymes on it too.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so that was my first.
That's how you started.
Yeah, that's my first.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
record.
But I think the point to the audience is you have to not just do creative stuff. You have to be networking, looking for relationships. Right?
Networking is really important.
It's critical.
Yeah, because I'm going here like a couple times a year. Like I said, I was always going to iStandard beat camps and stuff like that just to network with people.
And the other thing that I think is important that you do that I think the audience is critical is that while you sent people stuff, you also met them. And got a one-to-one.
That's the best way. That's the best way.
That's the real way, right?
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, I could send you stuff and you can like it, but if you meet me, then you know who I am. And if you like me as a person too, that only works better. Yeah.
And you know where your music is going as well too.
Yeah, exactly.
Like you get to judge the people as well too.
Yeah.
Important consideration.
Take us through, so when you're recording a mic kit to have it live in a let's call it a retro type song, are you recording the mic with the intention of having it sound retro? In other words, are you going back and trying to source all the old mics and all the old equipment, or are you just recording it, getting it down on tape, and then massaging it into what you need?
Yeah, it's a little bit of both.
What's your mic technique?
It's a little bit of both. I mean, I work in different studios, so not every studio has like the same mics. But like one of my favorite mics is like the RCA ribbon mic.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So I use
big old clunky.
Yeah, so I use that a lot on just as a kind of overhead in the middle, and then I have like a couple mics on the kick, usually a D12 inside, RE20 outside. And
so you use more of a basic miking technique.
Yep. 2 overheads and SM57s on the snares, top and bottom, and 4-on-4 on the side.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Pretty standard.
And then you made a badass drummer.
Yep.
Right after all that.
Yeah, I just hired badass drummers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
How many songs would you get done?
When I do drummers, I just make samples, like loops. So I don't really record songs that day. I just take a full day just recording different loops. And then I take it back and I mix it and edit it and make it sound like the way I want it.
When you use classic samples like one-shots, where do you get those?
Everywhere. I got a lot of stuff people send me, like other producers.
Do you get them off records?
Not anymore. I used to. Not anymore.
Okay.
I just got a library, and people be putting out a lot of great libraries too. So people be sending me their libraries. So everywhere.
Do you go for unusual sounds, atmospheric sounds, environmental sounds, or is it just always musical sounds?
Yeah, I mean, for textures, I use like nature sounds and stuff like that, and risers and downlifts and effects and stuff.
Yeah, you almost have to, right, to give it some.
Just to give it a little more.
Did you do something in Creed 2 or have something to do with Creed 2?
Yeah, I did the Ari Lennox and J. Cole joint.
Oh, cool.
Shea Butter Baby.
Cool.
That was on the soundtrack. It's also the title track of Ari's album. So I did that with Elite. So that's the one that I said that I played the guitar and the keys.
Oh, okay.
And then he did the drums and the 808.
Got it.
And it
Got it.
had J. Cole on it.
Got it.
Yeah.
What sports are big in Amsterdam? Soccer?
Soccer.
Gotcha. Of course.
Do the canals still smell bad?
Yep.
Everybody wants to know.
I was going to say, is that a musical inspiration question?
It's part of the inspiration from. I loved Amsterdam. I've only been there twice, and it was years ago. And what a beautiful city. I mean,
yeah, when it's not raining, it's beautiful.
I got lucky. I spent each time I spent a week there, and there wasn't any rain. But it was more bicycles than I've ever seen anywhere in my life. Did they solve the bicycle problem yet?
Yes, they're trying to. Well, I don't think it's a problem because I think it's a part of the city and it's part of the culture. But right now they're building these. They built these underground parking lots for bicycles. So like at Dam Square, like in the center, you can't park your bike anywhere because they will just take it out and you have to pick it up somewhere and pay.
Tow away your bike.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
So you have to go all the way down and pay for it to park your bike.
Online, there's a bunch of cameras, and you can pay a minimal fee, and you get these cameras from around the world, and I like that, especially when I'm falling asleep. And there's one of a particular place in Amsterdam, and it's always kind of icy and snowy, and I like watching the bicyclists crash into each other in the snow. It puts me to sleep. It's a musical thing.
Apparently, I thought you would.
The sound I've sampled.
I thought you got some materials from Amsterdam that you.
Well, I love Amsterdam. I love Olive Holland. I love Holland.
Does artist development, is that something that interests you for the future or whatever the case may be, or is it just?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, you like finding an artist and it seems like you would be that type person. Right?
Yeah, I recently found a singer in London, UK. Her name is Hannah, and I want to start working with her on some projects. I did one song with her so far, and I want to do some more stuff with her because her voice reminded me like a little bit of Amy Winehouse. I think that fits really good with whatever I'm doing.
Yeah. Sounds like a perfect fit.
Yeah.
For sure.
Let us know when you get going on that. We'd love to hear it.
I will.
And keep us informed, It doesn't end when the show ends. We like to keep up.
I'll send you some sample packs too.
All right.
And now let's sample pack your ability to do batter's box. That's don't go light on him, go hard. Give him the international. Just
I'll try.
No, you will. You knock it out of the park. Ready?
Strings.
Live strings.
808s.
Distortion.
Bass.
Fender jazz bass.
Drums.
Real drums.
Vocals.
Great vocalist.
Ooh, he's good, Herb.
Yeah, he's got bat speed.
I know, he's got bat speed. That was a curveball, but I got him. I mean, he got me. EQ.
Whatever works.
Beats per minute.
Slow.
Chords.
Simple.
Vocal effects.
Reverb, delay.
melody.
Beautiful.
You know, I like is that he'll go technical and then he'll go artistic.
Yeah.
And he'll swing between the two, because then you can say something, you know, amorphous. Bright future in front. It's an amazing place to be where, you know, you're reaching out and your team, you know, from hip hop to Zac Brown Band to who knows where it goes. I hope, I mean, I know you and Lou already have this figured out, but please don't put any limitations on what you're doing. Like push the envelope, change the game.
Let's try.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think that's one of the advantages of, you know, the hip hop phenomena is something that just sort of keeps on going. And, but because it's becoming, as you put it, like almost a foundation for other things to jump things off. Guys like yourself who pioneer in it, I think have no cap on where it's going. I don't mean lies. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like there's no limitation.
Great observation.
On where you're going. So it's a pleasure to have you, man. We're excited
Pleasure
to have
to
you.
be here.
No, we're glad that hopefully the show's been an asset and something you've enjoyed.
I learned a lot. I even had a production deal because of this show a couple of years ago. I was signed to...
You owe us royalties? No. Lou jumped up in the back.
What's the manager always?
His manager jumped up in the back and said, no, I don't know you. Oh, do you got a production deal?
Like I saw Neil Pogue on the show.
Sure.
And I reached out to him and sent him some music, and then he signed me to his production company.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
I'll be known.
Hello to Neil. Neil's our favorite.
Neil's a good dude.
That was a couple years ago.
I'll be
But
there.
it was dope.
Yeah. Do you know his wife, Cherokee?
Yeah.
Yeah. She used to be my
I asked you the
artist.
same question.
Oh, did you ask?
Yeah, last night.
She used to be my artist on my label back 100 years ago. That's how they met. So.
Yeah, she recorded to one of my tracks, but they never played it for me.
Oh, okay.
I would still love to hear it.
I'm gonna hit her up and ask her to send it. Dave, take us home.
So, guys, sometimes there's some people that don't really understand how loops work. If you go and put a beat together, you have to sit there and go, well, I think I like this. I'm not sure I like this. Hey, Bill, do you like this? Hey, sister, do you like this? But when you select a loop, you start your creativity from something you know you already like. And that's a great way to start. It's not a cheating way to start. It's a great way to start because you're building a foundation on something you already know is working for you. So check out these things called loops if you don't already. I think it's a great way to create. We'll see you next time.